This lesson will see your class apply everything they've learned so far as they begin writing their own news reports. They will choose their stories and begin planning for the interviews and research that need to be carried out. This lesson works best when your pupils are given some control over the stories they choose to report on. There are many ways to approach this. During the starter, you could give your pupils complete freedom to mind map all of the interesting stories that they can think of, or you could prepare some yourself for them to choose from. You could also link the story to another topic your class is learning about. If you do this, make sure the stories they choose are about current events related to your topics. Children find it a lot easier to apply the rules of news reporting when they're writing about something real and current. You should use your role as chief editor to rule out any stories that aren't suitable. Coming to the lesson prepared with alternatives can be helpful. Refer to our guidance on reporting real news stories with your class for more ideas and guidance. You should also return to the class code of conduct on responsible news reporting, which was created in the lesson on managing feelings about news. Your pupils will also need to interview someone for their story, so make sure you think about this in advance. And remember to read the core knowledge and skills section of the lesson plan. The starter activity gets pupils thinking about the different stories that they could write. Invite your class to work in pairs or small groups to mind map different story ideas. The best results come from stories about the local community. So you may want to remind your pupils to focus on stories that are local and relevant to them. You can also refer back to the NewsWise values and the class code of conduct about responsible news reporting. Prompt your pupils to think about whether the stories are truthful and interesting and how they can be reported in a fair and balanced way. In the main learning activities of this lesson, pupils will choose a story that will lead to a successful written report. They'll also have to plan how to gather the information that they need to write the report successfully. Discuss some of the stories that children came up with in the starter activity. Use the lesson plan for some questions to help discuss them. It's likely that there'll be lots of stories to discuss. So, focus on the ones that are the most popular or the ones that you think will lead to the best written outcomes. Also, allow pupils time to consider which of the stories are more or less newsworthy for their audience. Once the top stories have been explored, your pupils can choose the one they think is most newsworthy. You could have different groups writing different stories, or ask the whole class to work on the same story. There is no wrong way to do this. Next, pupils use the news report plan to list the 5 W's of their story and begin their research. You may have to be flexible about the timing of this lesson. One session may not be enough time to research the whole story fully. The plenary activity prompts your class to think about who they could interview for their story. If there's time, look at the suggested extension opportunities for some activities on interview techniques and how to prepare for a successful interview. In the next lesson, pupils will learn about the structure of a news report so they can organise their own ideas into an authentic news report style.